What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the TheSlamDuncan YouTube channel. I want to apologize for not having a video posted yet this week, but unfortunately, due to the seasonal allergies right now, my voice has not been the best. I've been losing my voice, off and on during the week, so I decided it was best to not make a video as of yet for this week. But to compensate for that, I decided to pull a clip from my last video. My last video was posted last Saturday. It was with my good friend Josh. He's a basketball fan, and we've known each other for a very, very long time. But I decided to bring him on, and we kind of did like a podcast type video. And because it was an hour and a half long, I obviously did not expect to get that many views, and there weren't a lot of views for it. But I do think it was some really, really good content, and part of that video was us talking about the Phoenix Suns and what we think the Suns need to do to get them out of rebuilding mode into hopefully playoff mode, then into contending mode. As my friend Josh is a really big Suns fan, and I thought the talk was really good and really fun to listen to. So to compensate for not having a video out this week, I am going to be posting the rest that clip from my past video for this video. As you can hear with my voice, it's basically not there right now. So I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry for not having a video out yet for this week, but I'm hoping to have a video out for the weekend. And if that doesn't happen, then I'll see you guys next week. But thank you guys so much for watching my channel. If you like the rest of this video, make sure you hit that like button. Also, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of this video. Last thing I think we're going to talk about for this video, and this is Josh's moment to shine, but as you guys know, I'm a humongous Bulls fan because, I'm in Illinois, and my channel has a bunch of Bulls videos. You can definitely go check that out. I'll put in the cards my playlist of all the Bulls videos, but, I am an NBA channel, and I try to, talk about things that are going on also in the NBA that don't relate to the Bulls, but because Josh is a Phoenix Suns fan, we're going to have him take the floor right here and kind of talk about the issues that the Phoenix Suns are having, because the Bulls have some issues, but, there are other teams that have issues as well. So we're going to let's just start with the players, like the personnel on the team.
All right.
You want to go ahead and dive into the issues with how this team is constructed?
Yeah. So, growing up, we've had, none of our teams have really been that great. Like you've had your 2011 Derrick Rose moment. I've had my back-to-back Steve Nash MVP moment. Both well deserved.
Nope.
And we have, but none of us have really been on that bandwagon. None of us were ever Warriors fans. None of us were ever Celtics or Lakers fans.
Mm-hmm.
I love Kobe, and I'm a huge Ray Allen fan, and whatever. I respect Steph Curry game, but none of us have ever super. We like the big teams kind of fans. We've always been
You're cutting out a little bit. Can you speak louder?
Yeah, we've always been loyal to our teams, and that's what I respect, because I've always, from the moment I was born, I've always been a Suns fan. Even though I live in Illinois, I'm in a minority, but I don't care because I love the Suns. Even though, God, they make me so mad all the time, every day. Every day I wake up and I'm like, God, why am I a Suns fan? But whatever. But starting off with the players as of right now, I love Devin Booker. I am so glad that we drafted him. The fact that he re-signed with us, I don't know why he did that, but bless up, love him. He's awesome. He does his thing. He averages 27 a game, and he's the reason that we have won any games whatsoever. I saw a statistic that was D-Book has won. He's in his fourth season when he's won 82 games. That makes me really sad. But because he really, that's the only fear that I have with Devin Booker is that he's a young gun and he wants to win and he wants to leave a legacy. Like he's like as a young player, I see stats all the time where he's like, oh, he's the first player to score this amount of points since LeBron, since Kobe, since Jordan. He's like up there with in his young era with these like legendary players, but he's just not winning games. And I'm afraid that later down the line he'll be like, nope, I'm done with this franchise. I demand to go somewhere else, and that will be a very sad day if that happens.
Right.
Next, our number one pick, DeAndre Ayton. I have faith. I still have somewhat of faith. Like he has been secretly under the radar, averaging a double double, and not nobody is talking about it. And he's doing his thing. His defense could be better. Obviously, he could be a better defender. His offensive game isn't as explosive as we saw it at Arizona. But he's still doing his thing. He was still in talks for Rookie of the Year. So he was never going to win it, but he was there. He was a 3. So I'm glad he isn't like a super bust. He isn't like your Zion averaging 20 a game and breaking rims, and he isn't Ja, who's going to be like the next generation superstar point guard. But he's a decent starter. He's a good player, and hopefully he can take off and do something that I don't expect him to do. I honestly just keep expecting him to be at that double-double level and nothing else, and nobody will ever speak of him again. And eventually be like, yeah, he was a bust. Right? Then, we have the stud himself, Kelly Oubre. I love Kelly. He's awesome. He's great. He's not only a great player averaging like 18 a game, but he's an icon. People like there are a lot of people who like the Suns because Kelly Oubre is on the Suns. Because Kelly Oubre is just that type of player that like he has this personality trait and the way that he plays the game and the way that he carries himself that people just are drawn to him. And he provides a lot for the Phoenix community in terms of being that kind of young gun in a very old state. So that's cool. When I saw that we got Aaron Baines, to say the least, I was unhappy. I was not very happy with his contract, nor I was unhappy with all of just surrounding everything Aaron Baines had. However, he pleasantly surprised me and fit relatively well into our scheme, which I wasn't expecting. But he's all right. He's not bad. He's there due to the production that he's been putting up lately. There are teams that want him. Take him, please. If we could get a first-round pick for him, do it.
Might be a bit of a stretch, but yeah, you could get some value.
I hope that we could get something out of him. But with the Suns front office trading T.J. Warren for, to say the least, nothing.
And a second.
And a second, which is nothing.
Yeah.
I will never forgive the Phoenix Suns franchise for that. T.J. Warren is a starter quality small forward in the NBA, and they traded him for absolutely nothing. And that was the closest that I've gotten to being like, I'm done with the Phoenix Suns, because I saw that trade and I was like, there is no way that they just did that, because they could have gotten so much more for him. And I was very angry because just it haunts me to this day. It happened how long ago? It still haunts me.
On top of that, though, T.J. Warren's on a very affordable contract.
Yeah, he's on like $11 million a year, and he's locked down for another 2 years. And I was like,
Yeah, it's not like you needed to get rid of him. Like he wasn't gonna leave. It was just that you wanted to clear cap space to
I
go
know.
after a
And
guy.
yeah, and
like,
why did you trade him of all of the people that you could have traded?
oh yeah,
Why him? And you know, it was not helpful for me at all, considering I go to college in Indiana. So I met a whole bunch of people from my
uh,
school that were like, "Oh, you're a Suns fan? Hey, remember when we traded you nothing for TJ Warren?" And then it's become a running joke with my friends at college, which I hate because that is the one thing that makes me very, very angry more than anything else about this. Um, we have Ricky Rubio, which when he does good, the team does good. When he does poorly, the team does poorly, to say the least. Um, he can average 10 assists a game, and that would be great. I have a feeling that when they acquired him, they were probably like, he's gonna be the next Steve Nash. He's like a pass first point guard. He's gonna fit perfectly into this Phoenix Suns team because we know exactly how to deal with pass first point guard. But Ricky Rubio is not Steve Nash, and nor is he anywhere close to that, nor will he ever be. We're also paying him too much.
yes.
Um,
You traded away TJ Warren just to basically get him, and I was like,
yeah.
oh my
So
gosh.
it's really just a big thing that we are now desperately looking for a point guard. And 4 years ago, we had 3 all-star caliber point guards in the same roster, and
Yep.
somehow now literally none of them are roster anymore. We had I remember this. I remember seeing Isaiah Thomas' first game against Phoenix, and he was talking mad trash to the bench because it was a close game. And I think he hit like a game winner or a shot to force overtime or something like that in his first game back. And he just deadpan stared the Suns bench, and I was like, you deserve that, man. Like they And then he turned into a 2-time All-Star. He revived the Celtics franchise. It was like,
Yeah.
oh God. And then Eric Bledsoe was the one that we decided to keep. Uh, we all know what happened with that.
Right.
Not the best. I mean, we were all like, we're going to build around Eric Bledsoe, which, I mean, Eric Bledsoe's a good point guard. He's a starter caliber point guard. He fits very well in the Buck system. He's athletic. He can defend well.
Oh yeah.
He's a great point guard. But you can't build a team around Eric Bledsoe.
No.
And like he works perfectly as that third option behind Giannis and Chris Middleton, and they're doing amazing with that system. But if you are like, Eric, here's the ball, score 30 points a game, that's not what he's gonna do. He's
Right.
gonna defend well for you. He's going to get some rebounds. He's gonna go to the rim sometimes, and he's gonna give you some spectacular plays. But he's not that core person. And personally, I think we definitely botched that situation because we had Dragic as well, and that was the second time that we acquired him. We let him go,
And he became an all-star.
and then he became an all-star. So literally all three of them are doing well. The two that we traded away became all-stars, and then the one that we had to let go became a very or continued to be a very good point guard. So the fact that we had Isaiah Thomas, Goran Dragic, and Eric Bledsoe, and now we have Ricky Rubio, just goes to show how poor the Phoenix Suns front office really is. I mean, I'm okay with Bonnie Williams as our head coach. He's better than frickin' Igor. Oh,
Oh yeah, that was a that was a
I
terrible
can't.
situation with that. I was so shocked that like James Jones in the front office has done a terrible job, right? It's just
Yes.
he hired Igor Kokoskov and like first year for DeAndre Ayton he didn't use him. It was just like what is this offense? I don't understand.
He was
It's
just
just
butthurt that we didn't draft Luca,
oh yeah.
and everybody and now and for the first season and a half or so, I was like, you know what, I'm okay that we didn't draft Luca. But now that I saw what Luca has actually turned into, now I'm kind of mad that we didn't draft Luca because he could average a triple double and he can still have D Book scoring 20, 25 points a game, and we would be winning games.
And that'll be your point guard. So
Yeah.
it would just yeah. I I don't know, man. Like I don't blame the Suns for drafting DeAndre Ayton over Luca. Like because I will even admit it. Like I was not the biggest fan of Luca when he was coming
Either
into
was
the
I.
draft. I was like, I think he can turn into an all star, but like I don't know how far he's gonna get. And the thing is, though, is just that draft itself. I wasn't really too high on a lot of guys either. And like the guy I was actually really high on was Marvin Bagley. He hasn't really turned into much, so it makes me look
Yeah.
bad. But like with Aiton, like I liked him so much because I'm a guy that values the big man. So I was like, okay, this is gonna work out well. D Book has his pick and roll partner now. That's your second option. You go forward with those two guys. You should be good. You just gotta get the right guys around you, and I think Kelly Oubre is a perfect guy next to Devin Booker at small forward.
Yep.
However, your starting lineup is still missing two crucial pieces and no point
Point
guard that's going to
guard.
be consistently there because Rubio is hurt half the season, and when he plays, it's either he's amazing or he sucks. And you don't really have a power forward that's like solidified the power forward. And things are just all over the place with that starting lineup because you even talked about it before. The rotations are just whack and they don't make sense. You got Aaron Baines playing with another center. Like things are just all over the place and it doesn't make any sense to me. And it's unfortunate because D Book was an all-star this season and he deserved it. I
Yeah.
was
I
just like,
was so mad when they didn't give him
oh
start
yeah,
first
and
time.
yeah, they didn't give it to him initially, which I didn't get that either. But I was just like, he's your guy, and the Suns team I just think has gone nowhere since with D Book on the roster, and it starts the question of is D Book going to be a winning player, and it drives me insane when I see people are like no he's empty stats and everything, but that's unfair considering what's happening with the Suns roster, which is it's not there, right? So
It's
go
it
ahead.
the rotation that we have. Like I went to a Suns game before this pandemic, and our starting lineup was Rubio, Booker, uh, Kelly Oubre, Aaron Baines, and Aiton. That was the starting five, and I was like, okay, let's see how this goes. They put Aaron Baines at the top of the key on the 3-point line. They had Aiton in the middle. They had D Book. They had Kelly on the left wing. They had D Book just doing whatever he wanted to do. And then they had Rubio trying to find one of those four people. So there was a couple options. There was throwing it to Oubre and because he's a corner specialist and he can shoot the three from the corner. So if he was open, they would pass it to him, and he would either shoot the three or he would drive up the baseline and dunk it. And then he would do his freaking head bob thing with the giant hair, and
Right.
everyone would be like, "Yay!" Then, or we'd pass it into the middle and give Da the ball, and he would try and back down and get a post fadeaway, or he would try and lay it up, which he only made 50% of the time. Or they would double. They would hope that they would double Da. They were playing the Knicks, by the way, which
Ugh.
literally does, so it does not matter. So they would, if they doubled Da would pass the ball out to Aaron Baines and he would shoot a three, which he made on a fairly consistent basis, to be fair to him. Or they would give the ball to Devin Booker and get out of his way. They would just give him an ISO and let D Book do D Book. And that's why he scores 27 points a game, because they'll pass the ball to Oubre, and he won't be open. They'll pass the ball to Ayton, and he doesn't want to shoot. So they'll pass the ball to Baines. He'll be covered. So then they just end up passing the ball to D Book, and so he's going to score the basketball. That's what he does. But that can't be your offense because you need, like, you have two shooters. Oubre you can consider a shooter. Aaron Baines is not a shooter. He should never be that guy to be the guy to be open and shoot your three. You're not Klay Thompson.
I will say though, like in fairness, like he's actually a pretty solid shooter for for a big man, but like that shouldn't be a staple in your offense of like we're gonna give it to Baines at the end of a shot clock or like we're gonna run a play for him so he can get open from three. That shouldn't be your offense at all.
It does not work. And then honestly, I would rather have Dario Saric starting over Aaron Baines because
I think they did that a good amount this season.
Yeah,
but even with
they
that,
did.
Like I don't know if Sarge though is the right guy next to DA. That's the thing.
Yeah,
and
he's a weird fit.
Because when I look at that lineup, then it's like, all right, Oubre's your best defender, but no one can guard the paint, and it's Rubio's a pretty good defender if he's playing, but D Book's not a defender. Sarge is not a defender, and that's where things get iffy because it's like you can't switch 1 through 4, which a lot of teams are doing nowadays, and you don't have a rim protector. So how are you going to defend guys? And
exactly.
That's where I don't know where the Suns team's going to be going from here on out because it's like Oubre's your main defender, but he can guard one guy only.
Yep.
And who knows like what else you can get? Like I don't want to remove DA just because he's a bad defender. Like Jokic, he's a terrible defender, but he's here right now in the NBA. So, I keep saying a guy like Jeremy Grant, like that would be perfect, but you're not going to get him from the Nuggets. So you need a guy like Jeremy Grant who's a great defender, guard perimeter and inside, to be next to Ayton to take away or just like hide Ayton's flaws on defense. Yeah, because he's a big man. He can kind of guard the paint, but he's not going to be a rim protector at all.
Mm-hmm.
But
having that one defender in Kelly Oubre, it does not work when literally the 4 other people on the floor can't defend. D Book is offense only. I will admit that he can't defend. Ricky Rubio cannot defend. DA, like you said, he's not a rim protector. He's 7 foot, so he's gonna be a body, and people are gonna be afraid to drive 7-footer because you might get blocked, but he can't defend against the bigger guys, and he's too small, he's too skinny to defend your Jokic, defend your Mitchell Robinson, defend your those bigger, more attack the paint kind of guys. And our power forward, we don't even know who it is. If it's Aaron Baines, not really a defender. Nope. If it's Saric, not a defender. If it's Cheick Diallo, he doesn't really play many minutes, and it's kind of up in the air who it is. Our backup point guard, Eli Jacobo, isn't like it's when he's on the floor. Like I've watched Gabe play when he's on the floor. It's like there's 4 guys on the floor. He literally does nothing but bring the ball up the court and then pass it to somebody. That's the only thing that he's. Right. And that's just a use, like he's just a filler player so that Rubio can rest for a little bit. You might as well just play a 4-man lineup where D-Book brings ball up the floor and you only have 4 guys on the.
Right.
He literally doesn't do anything, and I need a better starting point guard. I need a better backup point. I need a better everything. Right? Really.
Yeah.
It's like
sad.
Yeah, it's like one of those scenarios where it's like, I would get a better point guard, I'd get a better power forward, I'd get a better backup bench, I'd get a better front office, and then I would change the entire team to be the Milwaukee Bucks instead of the Sun.
Right. And I will say this, like, Monty Williams, I think, has actually done an okay job coming in.
Yeah.
Because he changed
Fair
this
credit to him.
offense from being a terrible offense under Igor to now an offense that's going to be shooting more threes because the Suns have a pretty good amount of shooters on the roster. So that's where I'm like, I think Monty Williams did a pretty decent job. However, the plays that they run, I just don't think it benefits any of the guys. Like, for this Suns team to be effective, you have to use DA on offense. Like, DA is not going to be a defender, so he's not going to have the impact on the defensive end. So how are you going to keep him in the game and how is he going to impact the game? And it's going to be on offense. And in my opinion, especially now in today's NBA game, you can't guard a 7-footer that's like 260 in the post. And DA needs to get that post game down. And I keep continuing to tell people that the post game is something that is so valuable, but no one talks about it anymore. And if the Suns can just understand that they have DeAndre Ayton who can be a legitimate post threat, that's a form of ball penetration where the ball's behind the defense, so the defense can't see the ball consistently. And I think DA's a pretty good enough passer where he can be like a facilitator in the post, or he can, go up against his man and take 2 dribbles and go right to the rim. Yep. That itself changes the entire offense. It gives you more options so that Devin Booker doesn't need to continue to dribble the ball consistently. You don't need Elliot Cole to actually have the ball in his hands. And I think what's happening a lot with the Suns is they run like a 5-out offense at times, which just doesn't make any sense. Like, you should never run a 5-out offense. But they're having DA fade more instead of roll to the rim more.
Yeah,
and it's because Baines, when you run that pick and roll with Baines, he's gonna fade to the 3-point line. He's not a finisher, and that's where things get all messed up. It's like you got, in my opinion, it's good because it's like you have 2 different guys that do 2 different things, so it keeps the defense, on their toes of like, okay, we have to cover this guy in the paint, we have to cover this guy from the 3-point line. But if you don't use that properly, then the defense knows what's coming. So I think, unfortunately, like, the Suns need to, like, hopefully, I like Monty Williams, so I think he can, make adjustments. But they need to change from this whole idea of we're going to run pick and roll with Devin Booker, but all of our big guys are going to fade to the 3-point line. And the idea is to have the paint wide open, but I think DA is just not as effective from the 3 as he is inside. And True. I think it limits him. So there's, like, the offense needs to change, in my opinion, from, not so many 3-point shots. And then the point guard position is just so important in today's NBA game. And for a guy like DA, for example, Devin Booker's not the greatest passer, and Devin Booker should not be playing point guard. I don't think that's...
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about him playing at the point like that.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, because it's too predictable. Like, he'll run the ball, like, up the court, and then they know that he's going to be the scorer. So, like, if you lock him down before he even has the ball, because, like, he can move without the ball and get open because they're not focusing on him, they're focusing on the ball. But when he brings the ball up the court, all of the attention can be on him, so it can be a lot easier to...
And that's something where, like, that's where I get worried about the Suns of potentially changing, into almost like kind of how the Rockets play, is that they, like, the Rockets, they're so big on iso ball with Harden and Westbrook at the top of the key, but if you do that, the defense can see the ball because it's right in front of you if you're at the top of the key just dribbling. So it's easier for the defense to react, and I don't want the Suns to have, like, this whole ISO idea of, like, all right, we're going to put Devin Booker at the top of the key, ISO, get out of the way. It doesn't work out very well because the entire defense knows that, all right, that's where the ball is right now, and they can hone in on Devin Booker. So, in my opinion, and a lot of people don't understand this about the Warriors, like, the Warriors run a bunch of floppy action. They run guys off down screen. Steph Curry is potentially the greatest off-ball player of all time, and no one understands that because they don't look at his off-ball movement. But Steph Curry is constantly moving, and that's how he gets so many shots. And that's what makes the Warriors so effective, is because the defense isn't able to just zone in on one guy. They're running around consistently. So I think Devin Booker can be, like, a really effective catch-and-shoot guy if you start running him off some down screens or stagger screens and get him open shots like that.
Yeah.
But again, though, then that completely changes the offense, which is what's going on right now. Like, the offense right now is a bunch of pick and roll. Change it to that, I think you're going to have a more effective offense, because not only does that give Devin Booker, not have the ball in his hands constantly, and he's going to get open shots, but it involves DA as well. DA is going to be setting those screens. If you double Devin Booker off the off-ball screen, DA is wide open. So
Yep.
I think that itself is going to, one, just make sure Devin Booker is not just dribbling, but it's going to open up opportunities to guys to get open shots much better, and also create mismatches, because it's a switch league now, so you got to switch everything. If you got that small guy in DA, you got to give it to him, no doubt about it. And I think Monty Williams will hopefully look at that again, if the Suns team will get anywhere.
I hope so.
Like, when I look at, for example, the Memphis Grizzlies, like, the Grizzlies just jumped, right? And it's just from getting two guys in the draft. They got Jaren Jackson Jr., they got Ja, and now they're in the playoffs. Where has that been, that jump for the Suns, right? It hasn't come yet, and they should have hit it by now, in my opinion. Granted, the West is loaded, but if the young Memphis Grizzlies can be in the playoffs, the Suns better start picking it up, too. Because that Grizzlies team is going to be a hassle for a very long time.
Yeah, it will. As Ja progresses into an even better point guard and an even players, he gets more used to the NBA dynamic. That's going to be a scary team.
Yeah. And Luka is coming, so you can't forget about Luka.
Here.
Yeah, and I mean, granted, like, Porzingis hasn't had the best season, so
he's still doing Porzingis things.
He's doing good, but once Porzingis becomes back to Porzingis, that, like, now you got the Mavericks who are a young team, the Grizzlies are a young team. It's like, okay, there's the future of the NBA. Where do the Suns fit in that category? And I don't know, like, if they can't progress, I don't know how they're going to get to that point where they can start being contenders again. I mean, it's like the same thing with the Bulls. It's like, I don't know where we're going to be going if we can't make some huge jumps with our players. So, yeah, I don't know what moves can be done, like, right now. I don't know if you've looked at that. Like, have you, like, looked in, like, the off season, like, who can be traded? Like, I would trade Sarge immediately if you can.
Yeah.
But
We have two, like, our power forward rotation. We have three power forwards that aren't really power forwards that we're rotating in and out. We can trade Sarge for a power forward. Like, I just want a power forward that can fill that spot. That's like our go-to power forward. Like, if we trade Sarge, if we trade, some picks or whatever it is that we need to do to get, like, a solid power forward, I'm okay with Rubio at the point if we don't have that power forward. If we can get I like Mikal Bridges a lot. I like him. Mm-hmm. He's a solid piece. He's definitely a solid 6-man. Glad that we have him. But we need the two things that we really need to acquire is a solid start or a solid backup player.
Right.
Those are the two things that we need, and I think maybe then we'll hopefully start short games. I don't know.
I don't know how much money you guys have in cap space, because, like, D-Book's locked up, and DA, this is only his second season, so, like, next season you're going to be fine. But it's like because you're gonna have to pay Kelly Oubre, I think, very quickly. It's either this upcoming offseason or the next offseason. So that itself is like, get ready. You're gonna have to make some tough decisions, because your starting lineup might not be the same. Like, if Oubre's gone, I don't know where the hell the Suns are gonna be going, right? So it's gonna be tough to decipher, like, okay, do we go after a guy like in free agency, or do we keep, like, Kelly Oubre, who's still a young guy that fits so well next to Booker, that do we value him more, or do we try to risk it all and get a star, or maybe get a couple of other pieces that maybe not be a star but solid other pieces, but you're breaking up the chemistry that's already formed. Right? So yeah, It sucks seeing it, though, because, like, I like Devin Booker. I'm not the biggest fan, but I like Devin Booker a lot. and I think he's just the Suns just have not done a good job building the team around him, and James Jones in that front office seat has just done absolutely atrocious, in my opinion. I mean, granted, like, if you have the first overall pick, I'm not gonna be like, "Hey, you did a good job." It's like you have the first overall pick, so you got Ayton, right? But cutting Tyson Chandler for basically nothing just so he can go team up with LeBron, like that T.J. Warren trade was just really crazy, in my opinion.
Don't even talk about it.
I think you guys traded something for like Aaron Baines in the middle of the draft as well, and it wasn't looking good. And just those moves itself, I was so baffled by, and I was thinking like, man, this isn't the step the Suns need to take to get from being in rebuilding mode to now we're gonna be in playoff mode, and you're not even close to the next step of being a contender because the West is loaded. So it's tough just to get through those bubble teams. How are you going to get to the top tier teams? So, that's all I really have to say about that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see like good talent like Devin Booker and DA not be used properly. It's so hard for me to watch it. Like, that's the reason I don't watch many Suns games. It's because it's like I have such a tough time looking at how things are run. And the whole analytics era, it ruins a guy like DA. It just ruins him. And I'm hoping soon, especially because the Raptors just won the championship, like, hopefully we start moving away from this whole three and layups era. I'm sick and tired of it. Because then DA, he's gonna be really effective then.
Yep.
Because and
he's in the wrong era.
Yeah, unfortunately. Like, there are so many guys that you think about right now, you're like, man, they're just, if they just played 10 years ago, they'd be a pretty dominant player right now.
Mm-hmm.
Or and vice versa. It's like that guy 10 years ago that was a shooter, that was, a big man, he would be perfect in today's NBA because everyone shoots the ball. Yeah. And, I don't know what else I really have to say. It's just, I hope things just change for that franchise. I mean, the Bulls, for example, just made a humongous amount of changes with the front office. And hopefully Jim Boylan's gone next, right? So you see the Bulls changing. So, like, for me, I'm like, I have hope now that the Bulls are going to move forward. The Suns they made some terrible moves last offseason. They got in a better coach, but that front office just hasn't made any changes. So
we need to quickly.
Yeah, you never know when D-Book is going to be like, get me out of here.
Exactly. Every day I'm afraid that I'm going to see that tweet that I saw from Eric Bledsoe from D-Book.
Yeah.
It's just like, yep. All right, it's over. Because if we lose D-Book, there goes another 10 years.
Yeah, and it's not like there's going to be a Zion or a Ja coming up in the upcoming drafts. And tanking isn't, a guaranteed number 1 overall pick. So... Right. You gotta use what you have right now, and especially that the fact that the salary cap is dropping, you're gonna have to make some tough decisions with where this team's gonna be going. And a year of retooling is one thing, but if you do that year of retooling and then the next year you get nowhere, it doesn't look very good at all.
Yeah.
So, do you have any last thoughts on what the Suns could do potentially?
I just hope that, because D-Book has grown so much in the league so far, I hope DA can kind of have that same kind of progression, but you never know, because like you said, it's not a post-centric NBA anymore. But hopefully, I was happy to see like the Bulls make those super big changes in the front office. I hope that do the same thing where we just fire literally everyone, because I would literally like anybody else. So I'm fine with my coach. Just get that. We have
You cut out for a sec.
Just get the front office, man, because we have good pieces. We have pieces. We have an all-star. We just need proper management. That's literally what we need, because then we'll make the correct moves in the offseason. We'll better trades. We'll draft better. It'll just be better, and I hope that those years where we're in the Western Conference Finals battling it off against Kobe and Pau Gasol will come back someday, but you never know, because those were happy times. I remember those times. So hopefully we'll be back there sometime.
Yeah, I'm seriously hoping, because it's how long has it been since the Suns have been in the playoffs? It's been a very long time.
A good minute.
Yeah,
a good minute.
It's been a while. Like, even when, like, for me, like, the Bulls weren't contenders, they were still, like, under Tibbs. They were still a pretty okay team. It's been a long time since the Suns have been an okay
team. Yeah.
And I hope that changes very soon. But I think that is going to wrap up this video, if that's all you got to say, Josh.
I believe so.
All right. So that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button. Also, make sure you follow Josh on Instagram. Link is going to be in the description box below. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm making new videos every single week. And also, hopefully Josh will be back very soon for another video. Who knows? We might make a 2K video very soon. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. And make sure you leave in the comment section down below of what you thought about this video.